Well, prior to 2019, Nigeria didn't have a composite central competition regulator. The competition regulator also addresses fairness in the market, prohibits inappropriate conduct that distorts the market in a way that doesn't benefit consumers and doesn't allow other competitors to get in the market and play fairly. And so in 2019, the president signed into law the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act, and it repealed the Consumer Protection Council Act and transmuted the then Consumer Protection Council to also be the host regulator, and it became the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. The law is a lot more robust with respect to consumer protection, and then it adds the new component of competition regulation. And so mergers and acquisitions would need to be approved by the competition regulator to be sure that that business combination will not distort the market. It investigate monopolies to ensure that others are able to compete fairly in the market, and you would look at all kinds of other conspiracies, cartel, and abuse of dominant market power. So there are quite a number of things on the competition regulation.
Summarize the new merger review guidelines, or the MRG 2020, for us.
And so, like you rightly said, it's a pretty composite document. It's almost a portal-to-portal comprehensive approach from pre-notification analysis and even pre-notification contact with the regulator all the way to the end and even post-notification issues. And together with it, you've got the forms, all kinds of forms and templates for how to file a notification. And a significantly large document that accompanies it is the guidelines. So you've got the regulations which have been gazetted, and you've got the guidelines. The guidelines actually is some kind of a snapshot into the thinking of the regulator, a philosophical approach to mergers, and the approach we usually would adopt to considering a merger. I think it's an important document for clarity and for stability and for predictability of the regulatory process. It certainly would assist those who are filing notifications to comply better and faster, to provide all the information that is required in the manner or form that is required, and that would assist the regulator to be more efficient in how we do the work and how quickly we're able to do it.
I'm sure you're aware, the Commission published its merger review framework sometime in December 2020, and that should be about 8 months ago. And the Commission has had the benefit of observing how this framework plays out and interacts with the market. And so as part of that observation, we realized that the merger filing fee structure was a key area where the market consistently sought clarification, especially when it had to do with what turnover is considered, when it involves private equity or venture capital firms, or acquisitions of a global nature, but with a Nigerian nexus. And so in view of the feedback that we had been receiving and the need for clarity, as well as the current management's priority to ensure that there is adequate information and certainty in the market, the Commission found it necessary to respond with an updated fee structure that has taken into account the feedback that we have received from the market.
In our view and in our experience, we think that proactive engagement with the Commission is encouraged, and what we found is that over the last couple of years, since the Act was passed, the Commission has been extremely receptive to those sort of questions. So it is possible to engage with the Commission, whether a lot of times on a no-name basis, whether via a phone call or an email, or even sending a formal letter in some instances on a no-name basis. And we know that sometimes when the deal is being put together, that is a key consideration for clients sometimes, that there's a bit of hesitancy that we haven't announced this in any jurisdiction, and we haven't notified regulators in many other jurisdictions. So what we find is that when we've approached the Commission, they've been extremely helpful.
Commerce and the competition side, my market forecast is that there'll be a lot more business combinations and mergers and acquisition. And then from the other competition areas, like monopolies and abuse of dominant power or cartel or restrictive understandings, there'll certainly be a lot more work.
There's one area where we take very seriously and frown. It's those who are unwilling to comply with the institutionalized process for determining if something has gone wrong or not. I absolutely, we don't take any prisoners on that. We don't cut any slacks. If there's a legitimate and legal basis for us to proceed and you do not comply with the requirements for proceeding, we will prosecute.